Hello and welcome to the first video I'm doing on academic plans and academic programs and how they're managed in the system. I've got a diagram here which kind of goes over the structure of the different records in Campus Solutions and how they link together, just to give you a reminder if you've not watched or you have watched the introduction, but it's been a while. Okay, so academic plan. So this is the equivalent to a course in Saturn. So here we've got an example, BA Honours Music. So this is the course, it's the academic plan that a student enrolls onto. It's what they apply to when they come here. It's what they study, it's the record that determines the degree they get, the length of their study, etc. So that's the academic plan. Now, the other record we have to understand here is the academic program. This is like a parent record for the academic plan, and it contains some of the information that we need for the academic plan. So, for example, the two key things are the academic program determines the career, so the qualification level of the academic plan, so undergraduate, postgraduate, taught, postgraduate research, the main ones, and also it links the academic plan to a campus. Okay, so an academic plan can't exist on its own, it must be linked to an academic program. So when we're creating a new academic plan, we have to create a corresponding academic program record first. So we're quickly going to look at the academic program record and then we're going to go through the academic plan record. Okay, so I'm in Campus. I'm in Setup Sacra, Foundation Tables, Academic Structure, Academic Program Table. You can also access this table via Curriculum Management Work Center, which is here. Okay. So let's just go through the key fields. So we have to put a description in for the program, and this should match the description for the academic plan. We give it a short description, which is always prefixed with PR and then a hyphen here. At the moment, we're using the original Saturn code to finish this code off. In the future, I think we will use 4 or more characters of the owning academic org, which could be bio or chem or whatever, because obviously we won't have these Saturn codes going forward. But anyway, the code itself, the short description, is not that important for our day-to-day administrative purposes. So the key fields we have for academic career, so we have to define in the program record which career this plan that you're going to create belongs to, and here we've got undergraduate. And if we look at the other options, we've got PGR and PGT as we would expect, and the other ones are complementary studies, which is where Nottingham Advantage Award and compulsory study in China and Malaysia will come under. Foundation, which is purely for Malaysia use, because they have Malaysia has standalone foundation plans, and LLL, which is professional and preparatory studies, which is used for Sealy. Okay, so those are our careers. We've got a range of other sort of configuration here, and we'll cover the program, all the key fields, in another session, okay, because we're just really looking at the plan now, but we need to understand the program to understand the plan, if that makes sense. So the other key bit, we're in the Taxonomy Campus tab. Here we define the administrative owner of any plans that are attached to the program. Okay, so here we've got School of Chemistry, U being the campus, SC means school, and Chem is the term for chemistry. Let me just close my emails. We don't get any more pop-ups. Okay, and then here we define the campus. So U for UK, M for Malaysia, and then C for China. These sort of filter down into these records below, and we put the business unit in as well, which we have to put in. So we've got UK, UNMC, there's a few extra ones here, but it's really for our curriculum purposes, one for each campus. So this is where we define in the program the campus and the career. Okay, so those are the key things to understand in the program. So let's go and look at the academic plan now. Okay, so I'm in an academic plan record now. Setup, Sacra, Foundation Tables, Academic Structure, Academic Plan Table, and again you can go to this through the Curriculum Work Center. So we've got a number of tabs, quite a large number of tabs through which the data is held. Now in this video I'm going to run through the sort of the delivered tabs, but we also have additional ones that have been added for UON specific tasks, such as recording QAA data. Okay, so in my first tab I've got the effective date. So this is the date where this record will become effective from. If I want to make updates to the record for a future year, I can simply add on a plus sign here, and that will create a whole new row. We can see the effective date is put in as today's date, and then we can put a date here where we want any changes to go live, and this should normally be, we're making changes now for 17-18, we would put the 1st of the 8th 2017 in, so the start date of that academic year. Okay, so we put that date in and then we make our changes, and that's how we'll manage updates to the record. But we'll just get rid of that for the second, if it will let me. Yes, just okay. So back to the one record. We have to link to our academic program. So we've created our academic program record. We can see U10070, that's our academic program code for the program that this chemistry plan sits under. So we put that in there, we have to do that. Career, we have a career field here, but as we know that's defined in the program. Then we have a plan type. So this is very similar to the AS type in Saturn. It's to give more information on obviously the type of plan this is. It tends to be a combination of the length, the degree type, and then any additional information about the plan. So it could be it's a year abroad, it's got mobility, it's a partnership plan, etc. Okay, and this is mainly used for reporting purposes, but it is used in one or two processes within the system, so it is an important field to get correct. Okay, then we have a description field. So actually I'm going to jump that. I'm going to print options in tab 2. This is where we enter our title, the proper title for this academic plan. Here we've got it here. It's BSc Chemistry, so we've got chemistry. We also have a transcript description, which is exactly the same as a diploma, but has a prefix of the degree type. And this is the field that's used in the online inquiry form. Okay, going back to my academic plan table. So we've also got this description field, which we have to have. It's 30 characters long, and it needs to represent the title of the plan, but must have the prefix of the degree type here. So that it's not going to be displayed to students, but it is something that you can search for plans on when you're trying to find a plan. You can use the description. Okay, short description, not a mandatory field, but here we're recording at the moment the corresponding Saturn code for this plan, F100. Okay, so that's the plan code for BSc Chemistry in Saturn. So going forwards, obviously we're not going to have Saturn codes, so this will either be left blank, or when there is a genuine UCAS code, so when the plan is actually applied to through UCAS, then that will be recorded here. Okay, then we've got the degree offered, so BS. So there are a number of codes in the system for degrees, and if we have a look at this, you can see them all here. So we got B-Arch, BA Ordinary, BA Joint Honours, all the ones you would expect are here, and you select the relevant one, and you just need to get used to the code we have for each, degree type. Coming up to the top here, first term valid. So this is used to determine the first term that students will commence studies. So the first cohort of students, when will they commence studies? The default is 000, which means it started from year dot, which we've had to use as part of our conversion migration process. But if you've got a new plan and you know the first year that students will start studying on that plan will be 18-19, then you would go in here and find your relevant year. Okay, so that's going to be used by admissions to understand when students will start and when they'll first apply. Okay, so we've got some standard required term default. This is always set to program and midterm, as is transcript levels always set to official. Last prospect date. So this is used if we know a plan is going to be no longer recruiting. We can put a date here from which we want this plan excluded from the online inquiry form. We'll put that in here. And then last admit term. So again, if we know a plan is going to be suspended or closed, we put the term here, which will be the last term that a new cohort of students will start. And this box here we don't use. Okay, so we've covered print options. Taxonomy, this is where we record the length of the plan. Unhelpfully, it's got program of length rather than the plan length type. But basically, as a similar to unit length in Saturn, we've got months, weeks, years, and then we define the length. Okay, so that's all we need to do in this tab. Okay, let's go into the owner tab. So here we define our owners. So this is the all the owners, the contributing and administrative owners for the plan. So for this one, we've just got 100% chemistry, but we could have, a 50-50 split or all sorts of splits, and we would need to define them here, adding a new row in for each academic organisation that is part of the ownership. Okay, so that's that. Then we've got a couple of tabs on HESA, which is UK specific, plan HESA, data, plan offering year HESA. Now these fields are going to be, table tabs are going to be managed by the SPP team, and they're going to be populated through sort of set scripts. So it's not information that a central curriculum team will need to populate as part of a plan setup. Okay. Right, PBI data. So this is it's going to remind me somewhere, is it? Points-based immigration data. So this all relates to visa applications. So it's a data for admissions. Okay, this needs to be populated for each academic plan, and we can get an idea of the information that needs to be recorded here. And the key things probably from a curriculum perspective is whether it has a work placement. If it does, you need to put down the percentage that the length of time the placement represents for the overall plan. So if it's your 1 year placement and it's a 4-year plan, then it's 25%, if that makes sense. Is an ATAS certificate required? We can record that here. This field and these two here we're not really using, so they will go default to no. Then we have to put the duration in months. Even though we put it in that taxonomy tab, we have to put that in here as well. Course hours is defaults to 25. And then cell, I don't think is relevant. Okay, and then at the bottom, we have to put in this information, which is going to be a bit tedious, but we hopefully can have some sort of automated process to populate this each year. So we need to put in for each the following, the academic terms, the terms that a student or an applicant can apply to. We need to put a row in for each, so we've got 17 and 18 here. We need to put the course fees in where they are known. If we don't know, say, the fees for 2018 at this point, we put in the fees from the previous year, and then they get updated when those new fees are released. And then we put the start dates and the end dates for those academic years that are defined on the website. And latest acceptance, I think it's defaults to something like 3 weeks after the start date, and the expected enrollment date matches the start date. Okay, so this is information I think we need some additional guidance on it, and the process it's all going to be populated by, but you do need to be aware that this information is required. Okay, then we've got research processing options. So this is just for PGR, PhD, doctoral students and doctoral plans. It's kind of information that's used to drive a number of processes. It's generally standard information, and I've got another plan, a PGR plan, open here to give you an idea. So, consumption model just generally means whether it's full-time or part-time, or if they're just doing a thesis. Early submission, at what point, up to what percentage of the length of the plan is, at which point is it considered early submission? Number of days, which is kind of calculated anyway, the complete length of the plan. And then we've got some additional information, and this will be covered in further guidance, I think, because it's generally all standard config, but you need to be aware of what that is, and we'll provide written guidance and probably an additional video to go over that. Okay, advisement. So we're not using that tab. Common attributes. So Let me flick back to my BSc chemistry one. So what we record here, one of the key things we need to record is if this plan is going to be included in the online inquiry form, we need to add a common attribute. So common attribute is like a standard field of which you can have multiple types and you can add it to the plan. And we've got one here of inquiry subject areas. So we need to add, this is the subject by which prospective applicants will search for plans in the online inquiry form. So we've got a number of subjects and we need to select here from the list of subjects what's relevant to that plan. Now generally these equate to the owner or owners of the plan. So that's kind of how it's been divided. So if it's owned by the School of Chemistry, it gets the chem added to it. If it's owned by the School of Maths, it gets maths added to it, etc. But we do need this information populated. Other common attributes, we've got some here for China specific ones, so China degree title, and we've got some Galco information. We've got some Malaysia specific ones, which are MOE course title and subject category. And then we've got a couple here, program approval date school, which is what we're going to use to record part of our business approval process. So when the program has been approved by the school, we can put a date in here to record that. Okay, so that gives you an idea. There are a number of ones here. This one and the bottom one, these are not needed anymore and they will be removed from this set of attributes as we'll publish plan to prospectus because that's captured elsewhere. So that gives you a basic introduction to the standard tabs that are available in the academic plan and some information about the academic program. There are further tabs that have been added for University of Nottingham, and then I will cover those in the next video.